So. Yeah, how this going?
Hot and.
Alright, Gigi, send that round to me. Just start the live. Alright. Alright, we're live, we're ready. Gigi, start the show.
Oh, it's usually okay. No problem. Give me just 1 minute.
Oh, it's usually me to do.
Yeah.
Alright.
Why did you do that?
Anyways. Alright. So, we're ready for. Yeah, if that goes wrong, I don't business. Just lock the phone. So, here we are. Lean back. Gotcha. Alright. We're ready now. Welcome everybody to the second episode of season 2 of Chat Bout Flim, and so far this is one of the most illustrious episodes we have with our esteemed guest, Mr. Saeed Thomas. I just want to big you up, my brother, my student, my camp counselor, or my camper.
You know what to
reel off how we no man, I reeling off how we know each other first.
Oh, okay, cool.
You see me?
Friends.
My bridging liquor brother. In any case, I just want to just big up everybody who's tuned in. As usual, we're going to make Gigi start off the show properly.
Okay, hey guys. This camera, that camera. Hey guys, okay, welcome back, as Simon said, to season 2, episode 2. We have our esteemed guest, Saeed Thomas, CEO of M1, recent recipient of the Prime Minister Youth Award for Excellence in Art and Culture.
Back.
Scoop.
Them thing they both shot man.
Director of Film Kinto, which we'll be discussing today.
Producer.
Right.
Sorry, producer Kinto. And we'll also be discussing his favorite coming of age films. I want to big up our sponsor today, which is Studio 47. They made this lovely sign.
They make 3D printed signs.
3D printed signs. They make wall decor signs, tabletop signs, which is that one. Prototypes, pencil holders, keychains,
Them do a whole heap of things. Big up
A
Studio
whole heap of
47.
things.
Big up Tillstrom.
Yes. Also want to big up one of our own, Matthew, for our beautiful backdrop. Amazing. He's over there blushing. Alright, and now I just want to introduce everybody else in the room. You might hear them from time to time chip in. So obviously we have me and Simon, and we have
Candice.
I wanted her to say her name.
I'm
Cool.
focusing.
Cool.
Oh, Matthew.
Okay.
Big up Amaka, our Karimak intern. So big up Karimak.
Big up grades that you're gonna get. Cool. And big up Jamar, or Soundman, who is
Yeah.
okay, alright. And I just want to do the call to action now. So follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, comment, share, follow our podcast. The actual podcast is on Anchor. And you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, all the casts, right?
You need to make sure you take a breath before you start. Any cast that you cast, we did it.
Alright, so
And you have to also announce that Spotify is now open in Jamaica now.
for real?
Yeah,
That's official.
well, okay, so I'm on it.
Is it about? Oh yeah.
I'm on it, so I know it's official for me.
Okay, I've
No
always been on
VPN
it.
foolishness, but I think we're getting premium free for a month.
Okay.
So I'm hearing every song that's ever been made. I've heard all the rap songs, but then I think it's going to go back to the free platform where you get ads and things like that. But I definitely went to Spotify, looked for Chat Bout Flim,
Big up.
and yeah. So download, get your Spotify. They never sponsor me, so we done this.
But we're on their platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on their
I mean,
platform.
the fact that they see Jamaica now
It's a really good thing. We can
That's
open up to all the
sponsorship,
possibilities.
I'm sure it's not verified.
Yeah,
There we go.
with our wonderful content.
Exactly.
Illustrious guests.
Yeah, you know a Spotify person, though. Say yes, sir. But it's not far.
Yes, of course.
But it's not far. If you really did put little time, you could find some people in Spotify. See, you set up thing that with your chest, brother.
Alright, so for first topic, it's hot topics. strong black films. Did anyone watch Ma Rainey?
Definitely.
That's up for a Golden Globe. Did anybody watch Lovecraft Country?
100%. I mean, I hope they saw our quick review that we
Yeah,
put
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So check the IG.
Yeah, you
What's
never
the-
watch it? Do it.
Yeah. What's the
This is a very
What-
hard show to explain. if
what
you want
no
to-
what
oh.
I know about Lovecraft Country.
Okay,
What
cool.
category is Marion on?
Oh, let me.
What did you think of Mari? While she looks up the categories under, what did you think about it as a film overall?
I think it was well directed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's based off a true story, right? Yeah.
It's Ma Rainey is a true character. I think there are some little liberties that the playwright made to the
Yeah.
play itself,
Yeah.
meaning the timeline. I can double check that, but lots of true events in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Idol of a Best Actress is one of them.
right?
Okay. She deserved that.
She deserves it. And Chadwick should be up for Best Actor, right?
I'm looking.
But the thing about it that I liked, if you remember Fences, right?
Mhm.
August Wilson is a playwright for both of those plays, Fences
It
and Ma
It
Rainey's.
reminds me of. Yeah.
It reminds you of that. And then what I really loved about Fences and Ma Rainey is how the play felt like a play as a film. Like it didn't. So there are certain. I like plays, you know. There are certain play elements
I don't see it.
that I liked, and the film didn't kill that, because the thing about plays that is good is that because the people are right there in front of you, you're in the emotion of the person, you know. And I felt that when I watched Ma Rainey. I felt how she felt knowing that she's about to be exploited and taking control. I felt how Chadwick's character felt when he was about to be exploited but had too much faith, you know. And it's Black History Month, so it's good to like look back on the kind of journey that a lot of these black arts took.
But what I will say is that I think it's very difficult to entertain an audience with a film like that where majority of the film is in like 2 or 3 locations.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of it is based on dialogue,
Yeah.
and I feel like the director really pulled out not only the acting but just how the cinematography of it.
Yeah.
It
It was so beautiful.
Very in
Yeah.
in the moment.
And the angles, I guess, they took as well, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. I mean, I was a little bit bummed out how it ended.
Yeah, it was really tragic.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you get, but that's also the play aspect of like a tragedy from drama in plays.
yeah.
Always have that type of feel where it kind of just.
Well, and then as we know, even studying like Shakespearean plays, it's always, you know, it's comedy, tragedy, you know, or love story, or romance is usually the angles that plays take. And you know what's really interesting, especially now in COVID, like last night I watched something that was really interesting. I watched a Zoom play.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Right, I watched a Zoom play.
Look a lot?
Yeah.
I don't know if Matthew, if you can go to my IG, I had posted a story about it last night, so I can get the name of the play. It's Afro something, and just tell me it.
Oh, it's not local.
It's not local.
Okay.
And here's the funny thing, but the actors are all at their houses.
Yeah.
So it's a Zoom play, and all the actors are in different places, are at their homes. So what it is, so Gigi, it's very dialogue heavy, right? There was one play that was basically a husband and a wife having an argument, and the husband just set up his background to look like his side of the room. She set up hers, and then they had this argument.
It sounds like a creative version of a table read.
Basically, no, basically, and there, so there, it was about 3 plays. One of them was like a poem, right? You found my stories?
Hold it when you have a live going on.
No. All right, we check it
You
later.
have a live on your things.
Yeah, you can select the live or my stories usually, but all right, don't worry about it.
Use Instagram.
I'll find it and I'll tag them later. But so basically, while one was reading, another person was like doing something, and you had to like close all the people in the Zoom, and you would so you would see the ones who were acting, the 4 squares in front of you, and they were all doing something different. It was a really interesting experience, you know, and to know that one of the actresses was in LA.
I
And
never shared a link with you.
I should have, but no, you had to. Yeah, I stay banned.
Stay back.
But anyways, with that saying, and it was very centered on Black history and and Black Lives Matter and things like that. You know, the stories are very, very black, and I like that about it. You know, and there were white actors playing white roles where they had to, you know, play those roles that, you know, people don't want to play. What you thought about Soul? That's another.
Yeah. Soul is up for best animated.
Yo, Soul is deep. Soul, I feel like the people who write Soul, they're on shrooms or something like that. To get into. So for one, is an animated film, but the themes within it are so.
Grown up.
Yeah. The themes, and you usually get that with Pixar and Disney. Always, but I mean, I feel like this time it kind of hit the nail on the head, especially in the context of the times as well.
Do you think it was too grown up for children's?
I don't.
Exploring death.
I don't know, because I mean, I feel like it. I haven't spoken to a child who has seen it.
Okay.
So usually what happens is, like, as a child, you would watch something and just take away a completely different perspective. You might just see the animation, and you're going to feel the emotions, yes, but you're not going to see it as deeply as somebody who's grown, who has experienced life a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's too grown up. I don't think so. Especially now, because children, I feel like children's IQs are they're much smarter than.
Okay, so back in your day, you were stupid.
I don't mean to say I was stupid. I'm a reflection of the times, and you're a little bit older than me.
Whoa!
Whoa! Hold that!
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Wow.
All right, sorry. Fast, give me a. Sorry, that grandma. She needs to take her medication after that.
Guys, before we started, I just wanted to know.
We got it.
They all think I'm older than my bigger brother, and they're giving it to me. So I just try a little job.
No.
There's no evidence of that, but that was live. I mean, you know, it's glad that we can help her out in these times.
You have a cat for him tonight.
Let's see.
We'll see.
Let's don't get a red card.
What I love about Soul, that I really want to talk about. So, what I find happens a lot is representation is a big issue. It's a big issue, and sometimes I feel that representation can be forced. That's one thing that I think happens with representation. And then two, you have a lot of people who are just like, let's just talk about slaves. Let's talk about all of the black trauma, and sometimes it gets too heavy, you know. I remember hearing one. I remember thinking, I'm also tired of white voices telling black stories. You know, as much as I respect Steven Spielberg, I don't want him to do another Color Purple. You know, I want black directors to really get into it. What I do love about Soul is that they did the representation without making it trauma filled. You know, it was about music. It was about arts. It was about intentions, and it wasn't a black guy trying to make it big in the world, but it was just a black guy who had at least a small dream. You know, that gig in that shop was
motivation.
It was a motivation, you know, and it was just like, I can't believe I missed my chance. And the art, Pixar always slam dunks the art, you know. I just thought, I loved how everything looked in The Great Beyond, I think they call it, or The Great Before, or something like that, with the little paper men and the little squiggly lines. It's always captivating, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, will it get the awards? Will it get the real recognition? Let's see.
I think it will. I mean, I think it has everything that a film should have in order to get the awards. I mean,
yeah, but they still might give it to a Pikachu movie or a...
I don't think so. I don't think so. The story is solid. In the context of everything going on now, I think representation.
Yeah. So I hope so. So I mean, that's what I wanted I wanted to be our first hot topic. It's the last day of Black History Month, so to kind of just talk. Are we missing any black movies off the top of our head? Well, we can throw that out to anybody who is listening. If you're watching on Instagram or on YouTube, if there are any movies you can think of, you know, throw it into the comment section and we can discuss it after the episode, you know. With that said, I think we should end that first segment. So people on my live.
No, not yet.
Ooh.
Not yet. We're gonna talk about him first.
No, but in my life and
Oh.
keep Chat Bout Flim live going.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
Cool. So our next segment is something local. It's you. It's you.
No, the man international.
Our esteemed guest. We want to talk about like your journey to this point. Like, how did you? Why are you laughing?
How did you become so great?
How did you become so great? Like
Wow.
CEO of your own company, your production company, like. how'd
So
you
no,
get
alright. Here.
into that?
No. Let me ask it properly. How you feel for no say bro gotta have a big you up?
Oh.
Oh, well,
Um,
that's the way, yeah.
Yeah, the prime minister have to big you up.
Yeah. Honestly, it was. So, alright, I'm answering this question.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, it was an honor. The field that we're in, which is production, film, television, it's still a very growing field in Jamaica,
Definitely.
and it's good that some form of recognition was given.
Definitely.
And,
Wait, is it the first I given that award for film? I mean, is it first a
I'm not
filmmaker?
sure. I'm not sure.
Alright,
in
cool.
all honesty.
No problem. No problem.
Maybe other people have got. No, I think Delano Forbes from Pastry got it
Okay.
a good while ago. But I mean, is as I say, is generally the people who are either in front of the camera or the people who like you wouldn't necessarily say engineers or producers. They gave a producer this year still, getting an award. It would be more like the artist or more be the person who is directly in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very appreciative that hard work was actually recognized.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's just the start of the journey, and I feel like I have so much more to accomplish. And I think in terms of the same thing, representation, creating our own work, telling our own stories visually, I feel like we have so much more work to do.
Definitely.
That's a part of me is like, yeah man, I'm very grateful for this, but another part of me is like, alright,
There's still
this is
so much
motivation to do a lot more.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know if you had a comment on that, Gigi.
No, go on.
So what I always look on is how people view progression. You know, so like you'll find that people talk about racism and say there's so much need to be done. You know, and then there's so much needs to be done. Nothing has changed. No, something has changed, and you can't move forward if you're ignoring where you've reached.
You're right.
If you pretend that you're still back there, then you're just going to move back to where you are now, ignoring that progress. And I think the biggest thing with film, and we sometimes tend to make fun of it, is that film in Jamaica feels primitive sometimes. Film in
Meaning what?
and Chat Bout Flim has no qualms in saying that. It feels not necessarily unprofessional, but it feels a step behind. Even in content sometimes, even in how some, and then production comes on to equipment and things like that. And it's not to say we're upset. Because if we hated it, we wouldn't have a podcast on it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't include it. But it's I am enjoying that progress I'm seeing. Like even the short films that we've been watching, if we look on the dates of some of these short films, we can see how that short film was worse than this short film now. You know, we can see something that one director has made and how the other one has gotten better. But we have to just still remember that we're not there. You know, like we're not there. We'll have to keep putting at it. We'll have to keep doing different things. And I'm glad that not only that you're getting that recognition, but that the industry is still finding new ways to thrive. I'm going to big up Jafta for that too. They're always.
Oh, definitely.
I saw them pitch something the other day, and we posted it back, where it was like a monologue, a Zoom monologue, or something like that. Something like that is so interesting.
And it's so important.
Yeah, because I was even on Clubhouse the other day, and they were doing auditions for plays on Clubhouse.
They as in
somebody, not Jafta, but
okay.
these are the innovative ideas. You can't go somewhere for an audition, so make somebody hear what you sound like.
Yeah, I mean the thing is with Jamaican film is that we are very strong, or we have a strong crew or a strong set of individuals within the production aspect of it, and that is the people who know to operate camera, people who know to record sound.
Big up Matthew, big up Jamar, you see me? Them
So
people
you're
there.
saying that we're strong technically.
We're strong technically, and that is
True.
because we've never really, other than like Mary Perry Hensel or a few other select individuals, we haven't cultivated this culture of doing our own type of work. So the writing isn't very strong, or the post-production aspect of it isn't very strong.
Right.
But then we've always been executing for foreigners. So therefore, the execution aspect of it has kind of forced us to reach that level. So when a foreigner comes down and they say, hey, I need a director of photography, I need a audio person, I need a grip, I need a gaffer. No, I mean, if we're weak back at one point, you definitely have to get stronger in order to do the work. But then that content has already been written, and when it's filmed, it's going back to LA or England or wherever. So they will never come down and say, hey, we need a writer. You get me?
Gotcha.
Or hey, we need an editor, a colorist. So that is, or hey, we need an actor, because they probably did their auditions a year ago.
So we have to keep
with
pushing
a
our thing.
Oh
Person.
my god.
Oh, with all of them man they we
Yeah,
taught the Jamaican them.
Exactly. So now,
We have a name for it, right? You've heard of our name for it?
I heard, is it the ad?
The Bully Beef,
Bully Beef.
commercial
Bully
ad.
commercial.
You never know that the Bully Beef nice, so.
Yeah. So I mean, so with JAFTA, I think JAFTA has quite rightly seen the weaker aspects of our industry, which would be the business side of it, the distribution, the post-production, the developmental aspect of it. And I've tried to kind of make that better, whether that is with the monologue series or or the writing workshops. I haven't seen much in post-production yet, but I mean, I definitely know it's coming eventually, you know?
Right. So, Saeed, your journey.
My journey.
Your journey.
I
know it's full of holy stops
Were you
and.
always interested in this field? What made you start your company? Like.
Always. What do you call always? Like.
I don't know. Like. When you were
Like-
small, were you
like
watching movies?
from
Like,
I was
I
3.
wonder how them produce that.
I was always invested in the arts. I always enjoyed reading. I always enjoyed storytelling. I can remember even as when I went to Moorlands camp and I thought Siren.
That's the card. That's the card. So
I
I used to be at camp counselor. Cyrene was my camp name.
Cyrene?
Yeah. In the Bible, there's the person who helps Jesus is Simon of Cyrene. So I made it cool now. Yeah. I help Jesus.
I remember when Simon used to do like his
skits.
His skits and the raps. And I used to find it so interesting.
That was that time. So,
Yeah.
I'm not cutting into your journey, but those skits were usually written right before. So it was whatever the theme of the person was speaking, but we had like a running story. Nobody could ever remember lines, but they loved it. And every time we done it, that was so bad. The kids would come over and like, yo, so what's happening in the skit tomorrow? And we're like, we don't know. But it was a highlight because before the person speaks later, before the boring speech, there's just 4 counselors up here fake fighting and jumping all over the place and acting like idiots. And we used to put mattresses outside the window and jump through the window and land on it.
Sure.
We went hard.
Yeah, that sounds.
So wait,
inspire me.
hold on. You tell me say,
anybody.
Saeed, you tell me say,
It's not directly
and
related.
that,
It's
no,
not
you can't tell me.
Before you go there.
Siren inspired Saeed. Which card? Yeah.
But I mean, definitely growing up, I was always interested in like literature and those type of subjects more than the sciences. But in terms of film, I would never. I think film was a later interest, and it's because in Jamaica you don't quite rightly know like you probably see it on TV, but you don't know that it's actually an avenue that you can get into.
Right.
You get me? Because there's no school or anything like that to
Carrie
say.
Mack, big up? No?
Not even.
Big up.
No, that's no offense to Carrie Mack, because I found Carrie Mack to be more journalist. Well, I was at UA, It was more like journalism type of. I mean, you do have.
So you have to go more like Edna, I guess.
Nah.
No.
So Edna is more like theater. So there's no. I don't think there's any. I mean, maybe no Karimak has a film program. UWI Trinidad has a film program.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but there's definitely.
Well, and they have big film festival. They have
They have an actual film.
an
festival.
actual like a proper functioning film festival,
they do.
which I think we can get to at some point. I mean, Jafta is doing a lot of legwork otherwise.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we
I
can.
guess-
I think a part of it is we have to also appreciate culture and appreciate film.
The way that Trinidad is doing
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
not just going to carnival to wind up and take somebody home.
Mhm.
No, yeah, no. Like I feel like when the people down here who love carnival talk about Trinidad, they talk about that as a cultural event,
Yeah.
while carnival is a big party that people show up for.
Exactly.
So film as well
Yeah.
would be that. All right, continue. Yeah, so
But yeah, I mean, I guess I can't. Let's say fast forward to the first film I ever worked on was a gospel film called.
God, there's been so many.
I can't remember now, but it was a gospel feature film.
okay,
I did it when I was like in first year university, and I mean, technically no, you would say I was like a part of the art department, but I was a production assistant.
Okay.
And I knew nothing about film at all. Knew nothing technically. I just know that I was supposed to ensure that the props that were in the scene were at the same position for each take.
Okay.
That was my job for the entire
continuity.
continuity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So did you have to like take pictures and look back on the picture
Or
and
did
make
you,
sure?
Like, mark an
Take
X?
pictures with what? Them time them at
Jaja.
Blackberry? I don't even. I don't.
So you just have a look at it and be like,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did. Maybe I should have taken some pictures. But yeah,
it's just like,
Wait, but isn't that a trick where you like use tape to mark where it is?
no, that's what he said. He said tape, right?
no, I never used tape. At that time, I never knew anything.
You just.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I think I once saw a BTS with someone who didn't have a camera, and like the shoot start,
Them drawings.
and them draw it. So them just draw it, and like and then they drew it and yeah, and they drew it horribly, but it was just like floor plan, this over there, and then it was just like everything else was from memory. So you're production assistant basically.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I was proud at the fact that I never left anything back on base. More so than
Z.
the set itself. But yeah, that was the first time, and I realized that actually enjoy being on set and actually
Okay.
like this, you know.
Okay.
And then fast forward to UWI, I went to study geography. I never liked it, so I switched major into entertainment management, and
I didn't know you would have that.
what entertainment?
Yeah.
It's called entertainment, cultural, and enterprise management, which is more focused on
That sounds so gangster.
it's more focused on cultural industries, artist management, and event planning, essentially. But through that journey, I got really involved in theatre, and in more so the technical aspect of theatre. So the lighting, the sound, the stage management. And then from there, I got more so involved in events. Up to now, I wasn't really, other than that film, what I did in first year, I wasn't really involved with camera or anything like that.
It was mostly sound.
No, that time it wasn't even that much sound. It was more like management, stage management, and
Okay,
even
yeah.
lighting. As I said, I was more involved with lighting at that time. Graduated from UWI. No, I did an internship, and that is where now I got into sound.
Okay.
And the internship was with a company called Grizzlies Entertainment,
Okay.
and they did Grand Gala at the time. Yeah, so I mean that, and they had a rehearsal room, and all of the big artists them used to come through, like Sizzla and Luciano and Jacure and them.
And then man, they have to make sure your sound.
Yeah, but
Maybe
I
not
nev-
Jackie,
I nev-
but-
I never had that responsibility. I was more, the responsibility I had as an intern was more to ensure that the keyboards were plugged in, or the microphone was plugged in. You get me? Or the
Just to double check.
Yeah, or the microphones ran to the correct channels in the board.
Big up Amaka, our microphone plugger.
Very important
Carmack
job.
again.
Very important job.
No, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, But all of this kind of adds to the journey because you realize that it's the same theory that goes across, especially technically, that goes across most productions. So whether it's film or whether it's a podcast or whether it's event planning or whether it's
Right.
theater, a board is a board, and
Basically.
and a microphone goes to a board. You get me?
Yeah.
So I mean, all of these things help me for sure. From I got my first job, and I learned multimedia, and this is more like projection and screens. From there, I went to Phase 3 to do multimedia, and I realized that boy, I never really liked multimedia that much, cause the man them, it hard, brother. Them have to go out. Let's say 9 a.m. Them have to set up the screens. The screen them heavy. Them a plug in the screen them.
That's crazy.
Let's say the event now starts at 9 p.m. and you're there from 9 a.m. The event now starts at 9 p.m.
Anything can go wrong at 8.
Brother, that was now the most frustrating thing, especially at the time because LED screens was seen in Jamaica as like newer technology.
Yeah.
And it's not
So
like
everybody wanted that kind of LED
everybody
screen.
wanted it, and it's not like we had a strong knowledge base here.
So it's only a few people can really deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember there was it was at the Cove. I don't remember what the name of the film was. It was like a guy from UK, a bunch of short films, like episodes I think, and they had a screening of it.
Oh yeah, man.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's actually Burnett did help. Put
Yeah,
that
big up
on.
Brando Burns. Big
Yeah.
up Burns.
What's
R.I.P.
the name of that again? And it's done so well. He's gone into like over 20 film festivals or something.
Yeah, no. So I remember. So I went to that, and it was like an event / a showing and Ray. And at some point they were like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna have the showing at 8 or whatever." And I just remember like at 8, just seeing like, and this I had a little bit of experience with technical stuff, and I know from enough people moving up and down, something wrong. And I remember going over there and just seeing one person by the computer just doing this. And when I peek and look, he was rendering over the whole movie, the whole film. And when you're rendering anything that is 10 minutes, you might have to wait 40 minutes. This was like a 30-minute movie. And then they had to render it to fit the screens. Then they had to double check the LED screen. So that whole multimedia, everything was just headaches.
Yeah.
And then you have people who just like, why not just turn it on? Just flick on the switch now.
Turn it off and turn it on back.
Yeah, like
Sometimes that actually works.
Yo.
Sometimes that actually works.
All the time.
Yo, I swear to you, that is like one of the best fixes.
Yeah.
not for these screens though.
Yo,
not for 50 LED squares.
Yeah, sometimes that's after like you've done all troubleshooting, like
Yeah.
like you check everything, flip off and flip on. Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But so
Shake it.
so here
don't shake it.
I don't know if I'm fast forwarding the story. If I am, you can tell me to shut up. But I want to know you being into M1 now. Like,
You are fast forwarding the story.
alright, fill the gaps.
But just to summarize that now, I never liked multimedia much because the
Right.
hours long, or everything hours long, but the hours are extra long.
Yeah.
I focus more on at Phase 3. I did know more audio, and that's audio for broadcast and audio for television.
Z.
And then I got the feel of more documentary and recording audio and location and what it means now to working at a level sometimes with foreigners.
Yeah.
What are their expectations of
The sound itself.
of the sound quality, how to record the metadata so when it goes back into post it's easy for the editor to find it. What exactly do they need for the editor to create a proper sound design in a timely manner? And so I learned a lot of those things at that time. And then now I left Phase 3 and I got into more audio for our tour de Runkus.
Okay.
So I did know audio for stage shows or audio for an artist,
Right.
which is more the creative side of music.
Right.
But while that was going on, I started my own sound company and I started Cinecore. And
Nice.
Cinecore, I started with my brethren Jave, and Jave was also at phase 3, but Jave was there as an editor. And essentially the point of Cinecore was to partner with writer directors and creatives and execute films in terms of in a technical side of it. So it would be like the technical production of it. At that time we got really close with Joshua as well, who did his first film with us called Enhance.
Was that the superhero
That
film?
was a superhero.
I don't get to
And
see it yet, you know.
Yeah, I don't think Joshua, when he comes, you can grill him about it still. I think because it was one of his first films, he wasn't as pleased as he would have been. But I can tell you, I was very proud of it. That was like, no, independently.
Well,
Our
hopefully,
first film.
Nice.
And what you usually find as well is that, so technically it was executed well. So now when we drop that on Facebook and people see the kick and the thump and we go VFX with it and the youth eye turn green and one bag of thing happen and we do the rehearsals and we get in martial artists.
Where can people watch this?
It's not
available.
No, it's not available. That's a Joshua question.
Okay.
well, if we do end
I
up,
probably can send it privately.
yeah, if we do end up having the propeller guests, you know, we're in the works, then definitely we'll bring up that question. But I will still message him through Chat Bout Flim.
Yeah, man, you can ask him. Well, but that I would say almost went viral on Facebook in terms of the trailer, not the actual film. But when you look back, so looking back now, everything is about growth. So we understood better the technical aspect of creating a film, but we never understood as much the storytelling. You get me?
Yeah, fully.
And as we grow, we realize more and more the films get stronger because now we're just understanding more and more sides of the filmmaking. So from there, Cinecore, I was juggling between Cinecore and engineering for Runkus.
Okay.
And then Cinecore now we did a lot of work with an agency called Mystique, and then we partnered with Mystique 2 years ago to now form M1.
Nice.
And M1, I mean, the direction has changed slightly. It's funny because we're not really focused on films that much, but we do a lot of execution for creatives essentially, which would essentially is Mystique. But we partner with a lot of other agencies sometimes.
Okay.
And M1, I mean, due to the nature of the industry and just having to eat, we've gone a lot more now into live streaming.
Right.
So we invested in a lot of equipment. We invested in a black
Live stream
magic
like what
suite.
we're doing, right?
Exactly like what we're doing. So we invested in a black magic suite. We invested in order. Invested in.
Gigi's like, what is a black magic suite?
It don't matter.
All right. You know, like a man will have a gun, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger will come up with the real gun.
Cool.
Black magic is the real big gun.
I wouldn't even say.
I
Black
would
magic
say.
is that mid-tier.
All right.
Okay.
You know that the Marlon Wayans movie, Don't Be a Menace, where a man pull out one gun and then pull out the next big gun, and then they pull out the big rocket launcher. Do we have a problem? That's what Black Magic Suite is. If somebody says something to you about camera and then pull out that, do we have a problem?
We have the water gun.
yeah. We right.
Yeah.
Team not super soaker.
No. We're super soaking.
You hear the laugh?
He's like, what is this? I joke.
Yeah.
But basically, it's to the point now where you're trying to make as much quality available to production in Jamaica,
Yeah, for sure. And
which is always a good aim.
yeah, but what I find interesting is that even though the direction changed, it feels like it's going right back to where we were because content is now
King.
the aim of the game.
Yeah.
And marketers are thinking differently, meaning maybe 5 years ago the main aim for every market, I don't say every, but the main aim for a lot of companies was just get out that TVC.
Yeah, TV commercial, printing big in like Observer, Gleaner kind of vibes, because people still buying and reading the pullouts. You know, maybe radio ads.
But no, radio ads for sure.
Yeah.
And now it's different. Now it's how can we creatively come up with something that's better than our competitor? And that is not a TVC.
Right. It's not because they want quick and engaging.
They want quick and engaging, but even now you see in platforms like Digital Playgo that's not necessarily quick and engaging, that's actual long form content.
Yeah.
You get me?
For sure.
So I mean, that's what I say, even though the direction kinda changed, we realize that it is slowly going back to what we originally intended initially, which is to execute content on a level.
So here what I'm going to switch it to Kinto in a second. Kinto and Sugar Cake. But the last thing that I kind of wanted you to mention is, now that content is king, and you've been in the production, the sound, you understand all of that. Do you think that Jamaica has what it takes to step up? You know, can a Jamaican channel rival, maybe not a HBO, but I mean, can we be a viable place for content?
Storytelling wise, for sure. I've seen a lot of writers step up to the plate.
Anybody you want to big up especially?
I mean, there are a bunch of them. There's Storm, there's Natasha, who you had last week.
Big up Storm, big up Natasha.
Joshua, Nile, Tanya
Baton Savage. Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of them, and big up to Jafta for Kia, who actually reached HBO.
Right. Kianga, big up yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, with Jafta, I think Jafta has put in place some very strong initiatives for the developmental aspect of it. Do we have the technical know-how? Definitely. In terms of the production itself, we have good camera operators, we have good soundmen, we have good gaffers. Gaffers are the people who are in charge of the electric and the lighting.
Right, yeah.
We have good grips. We have professional people who can work on the James Bonds and work on or the Idris Elba and whatever.
So I think it's good that these projects have been happening now. So it's like Jamaica has a good resume.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, where we are probably most weak is post-production. And for example, when we did Flight, so I did sound for Flight.
But you had to fly up and you had to take a flight.
Yeah, I had to take a flight for Flight. Yeah, and so when Flight got into HBO,
Yo, how that feel, dog?
Yo, that was...
Yo, for us no say,
honestly,
Game of Thrones and you up on the same level.
Yo, I feel, that was like a level up. And I know for
HBO.
Kia, that was like a dream come true.
Must.
But that was like a level up because that Flight was like my second time doing sound design.
Word.
So I did, the first time was Kinto.
And then this,
post-production
brother, if me end up on HBO, no say my whole wardrobe is HBO. I'm gonna just have shirt where say I've been on HBO. Not it don't have to be chat to who? Chat about what? Chat about HBO. Who going chat to me after that? Yo, right now I don't know how you're not doing it. I don't know how you're not.
So
me a tattoo HBO for my forehead.
Turn it up, nigga.
You see me?
So
But congrats on that though, and congrats to Kianga as well.
Yeah, man. So that was definitely level up. So we went into the post-production house and just stepping into their studio was just like, yo, this is some next level.
this is how it should be.
Yeah.
This is like, so this is what a real orgasm feels like. You're just walking like,
You could say that. You could say that. And the thing is, what makes it so sad is that we have the potential for sure. Because you have places like Tough Gang, you have Anchor Studios, you have... Yeah, we have so many
just
other,
funding and projects, really. Maybe?
and just
Priorities.
Yeah.
So isn't Jam Pro supposed to be making that their priority with their different
Yeah, but I mean,
initiatives?
yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think it's all steps. So
Yeah.
so it started a lot with now the developmental aspect, creating, improving the writing, improving the storytelling, because that is where it starts essentially for. So you can get into a film festival with a film that doesn't look that great in terms of production value, but the story is still strong.
Okay.
You get me? So I definitely think that's where it started, but now we're reaching a level where, okay, the writers are actually writing content. How do you get the funding for it, and then how do you make it look first world?
Nice.
First world. quote unquote. You get me?
Yeah.
And how do you even simple things? How do you manipulate the color to get the feel that you want to feel as a director? I mean, those are the things now that I think we have to start looking into. Flight. The biggest reason why I had to travel is because we don't have a surround sound studio down here. And Jamaica.
So you can't hear when something a fly behind you down here.
No.
So you need that studio for
exactly.
like.
And it's kind of weird because Jamaica is like a foundation for sound and creativity for sound. Whether it's the sound boxes or the innovativeness of dub or anything like that. But no, it's just that they have invested and prioritized other things. So
well, I do believe that Jamaica sometimes they settle when they think something is good. So everything will move past it.
Yeah.
And even something like that now, people wouldn't factor in that an HBO show. So like, for example, we have our resident sound person here, Jamar. He has a surround sound system. Him love that stuff. So if he's watching something on HBO and it's supposed to be surround sound, him don't want to know everything coming through that speaker. He want to know if a man throw a stone and it land over there, so he want to hear it land over there. And if we don't have that capability, we can't move forward. But that's real interesting. I definitely want to jump straight
It's
to
a
King.
culture thing, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If I can
We
plug it.
second.
It's a culture thing. No, even more basic than that. A man will spend a shitload of money on a big screen, put it up on the wall, and buy the crappiest audio console and put on it. And say, yo, him have big sound and him sound like Carib. Like that's literally a culture thing that we need to change. I don't think in terms of film, I don't think we value audio enough.
That's true.
And audio is the key to film.
True.
Because a lot of people can't hear the difference. A lot of people.
No, I think you
visually-
can.
They hear the difference when it's bad.
They hear it when it's bad, exactly. But the levels of good is not necessarily.
No, man, you
good.
can't hear the difference.
Because a bad sound in film, they stand out more than a bad visual, right? But at the same time, like me, once it okay. I can't really like the audio don't matter that much to me personally. Like when I watch movies, it's just the truth. It's just I need to hear the dialogue. And I can be able to say, alright, well, I need Atmos, I need to have the 9 channels, the 15 channels, whatever it is.
I just need
From
to
I can hear the dialogue. The rest of it, I can watch my movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it's sad
I'm just not a
because
sound person.
sound designers, audio engineers, all of them people that spend so
Yeah, man,
much
but
time,
But then at the
so
same
much
time,
time designing
at
the
the same
sound
time,
feel
Jamie,
and all of the things that are happening that evoke those emotions that make this the film so
True.
encapsulated.
And then you know what the next
And
problem
half of the
is?
time we miss that information.
The next problem they have is that people watching movies on them phone and them tablet, bro.
That's
the
true,
thing is
but-
that
but
I
this-
personally
but
don't
this-
feel that you must go to the theater and watch a movie. I didn't like watching it at my house. I told you, I found cool
Well,
stuff. I'm still want to go to the theater and watch it.
I think it's something that we're definitely working on in Jamaica, and we'll have an episode about audio soon again. But I definitely want to jump into Kinto right now, right away. Tell us about. All right, I'm going to start off with a question. Which tell us about some of the technical. Because I was watching Kinto. I don't know how many of the audience has seen Kinto, but what I found really interesting were, for example, the car. Did you get a crash car that the lights would still turn on?
Are you crashing?
And you place it by the light. Did you crash the car?
We never crashed the car. It was a crashed car that we got from BCIC.
Mad.
Yeah.
And you just place it by the light pole?
Yeah.
That
So
is
we got
so cool.
Oh, you know, I said it.
What?
I say, yo, BCIC sponsors this movie.
Yeah.
Put it
Oh,
on the
okay.
seats. Because they did the thing.
I saw that. I saw the plug. I saw
I
the plug. It wasn't as subtle as when I think it is. It was like,
They wanted it.
boom!
Do you know what was subtle?
What?
Do you know that we got a water sponsorship too?
Oh no! I'll look back on that.
Did you see the sips bottle when he reached for the phone in the
Yes.
car?
Yeah, I did see that.
Water sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, that one was smooth.
That one was smooth.
Yeah, thanks.
But I found that interesting. We had mentioned off camera that he did actually vomit in that
He
scene.
did. Yeah.
And that kid, great acting performance from that
Yo,
kid.
Sekai is amazing, and
Yeah.
it just shows that the talent that we don't know that we have in Jamaica
True.
sometimes. Like his mother is an actress, Bertina. His mother was in Cool Runnings.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we were just talking about
okay,
the foreign
Bully
actors.
Beats, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, but I mean, I value her opinions. I value her as an actress.
No, well,
as
you see,
but
As an experience.
all
I
the
value
local
her being
scenes.
on set. She was
The
very
local
helpful
scenes with
on set.
everybody else
Yeah.
was good dialogue, but it's just the main actors, the main American Jamaican
Oh, I get you,
voice.
I get you. But yeah, No, Sekai was amazing, and Sekai was very dedicated. Sekai was very dedicated to the cause. He was very dedicated to acting and very dedicated to doing what it took to bring out his character, which was a windscreen wiper.
Yeah.
How old was you?
Yeah, at the time.
You 14? I think.
Okay.
Okay. Him look a little 12-ish.
Look
Yeah.
younger,
Yeah,
that's
he
why
look
I
younger.
asked. He looks young, he looks small.
Yeah. So I enjoyed Kinto. There were certain moments that felt a little forced, which I thought was the beat up part when the guys beat him up, but it's still a story to tell, and I think it was a little different than your regular drug dance story and things like that. And I liked his thoughts where we saw the struggle, because a part of me, that dream sequence when he was robbing him, and I was like, yeah, rob him. A part of me was just like, yeah, eat the baby food, you're hungry, bro. Like, you know.
Well, I can tell you, I haven't heard this feedback from many other people.
I maybe I'm an asshole.
Everybody was like, he's really eating the baby.
Yo, what? I was I heard the funny thing was, as soon as I crash, I literally was just like, take your 300 bills that him never give. Use him phone, call somebody. Then I heard the baby and I was like, eat the baby food. But call the police or whatever. Then it turned out to be a dream. But I definitely, all I kept thinking was, I don't know if it's because as a teacher as well, I'm constantly wondering when was the last time. I have players who, as soon as I reach the first time, ask is for $100 to buy something. They don't eat since morning.
Yeah.
And these are kids going to school.
Yeah, that's
Understand?
an interesting perspective.
Yeah, these kids
because
don't eat.
You've gone through that as well. That
Yeah, just as a teacher and a coach, you know that these youths, for the most part, they're not eating any food. So the fact that he was that hungry, and I literally was just like, eat that baby food.
Yeah.
Finish that Gerber.
They don't get more food later.
Yeah, 100%. That's all I thought.
Maybe not stop.
Baby nuts. I was so happy when I saw him drinking the milk.
Yeah, and
I was like, that
Joshua,
sounds...
I think Joshua would be very happy to hear you say this. Because,
Well, he will.
Yeah, because I know that was a big part of why he wrote it. To kind of...
Be a dream sequence?
No, not a dream sequence, but it's
To show that narrative, to show
show
people
that
that this is what is real about it.
He's actually... So every day we see windscreen wipers.
Yeah.
And we're quick to reject them, but...
Sorry, on the live they're asking what movie we're talking about. We're talking about
Kinto.
which is a movie that he produced. It's available on YouTube, right? For everybody?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
It soon will be. It's now distributed across most of the Eastern Caribbean. We signed a contract with Film TT.
Is there
But
somewhere that they can like purchase it or pay to see it? Or?
Not right now, but very
So look
soon,
out for it. Look out for
You
it.
can
Alright.
you can follow the page though. Kinto Short Film is on Instagram.
Kinto Short Film on Instagram. So follow Kinto Short Film on Instagram for updates on that. It's a really powerful story.
Just for the people asking, can you just give a synopsis of what the short movie is about
Of,
without
Kinto?
spoilers?
It's about a windscreen wiper.
So it's about a boy who is it's basically a day in the life of a young boy who's a windscreen wiper, and he encounters a car crash where he has to make
A decision.
like a morally conscious decision, essentially.
Yeah. No, so powerful story, and I love the attempts at doing different stories.
Yeah.
Before we go to our theme of the day, you kind of wanted to bring up Sugar Cake.
Yeah, I mean, well, I know you plan well. You plan
We're
to-
hoping to have
You're hoping to have
Joshua or
and
other people,
I
or
think
you know.
Joshua would be the better person to go into the creative of Sugar Cake.
Yeah.
But definitely, Sugar Cake is the recent film that we did for Jafta Propeller.
Nice.
And Sugar Cake is about a security guard that is about to commit suicide. However, a prostitute interrupts him.
Right.
More heavy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is heavy. And
And Jafta Propeller is a competition program
yeah,
that
Jafta
takes local filmmakers.
Yeah, so it's a script-to-screen program where 4 filmmakers get funding to do a short film that Jafta has selected. Yeah, I mean, the journey with Sugar Cake for me was definitely like I definitely felt the growth as a producer, because when I did Kinto, as a producer, I was more focused on line producing, and
Nice.
who doesn't know, like line producing is more just the execution of the film, managing the budget, ensuring that ensuring that ensuring that the director has everything he needs in order to tell this film. With Sugar Cake, I went more into the creative aspect of it in terms of developing the script,
Nice.
thinking about the marketing even from before. So who are the actors that we're going to choose? And even partnering with financing as well to ensure that we have enough financials to try and market it after, as well as do the film.
What I think is
in a fairly comfortable way.
What I think is really good about Sugar Cake and even Kinto is we're pushing content that tells multiple stories. You know, and Sugar Cake hits that emotion.
Yeah.
You know, Sugar Cake looks into that, and it's nice and short and tight. And I think the more recognition these shorter pieces get, these what we can call one acts, you know, get, is the more we will realize that we can keep pushing these and making these films.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that short films have a market.
A big market.
And they have potential in Jamaica where we are not yet used to seeing bigger, longer versions of our own storytelling. So I think it's a good way to break the general population into actually just watching Jamaican films. You know, when I went to France, last year for Black Girl in the Ring.
They're gunshot.
And once again, it's just like a cultural, like they are having children, like thousands of children just coming into a short film festival just to watch short films, and it's like, wow.
Let me tell you something. You see, other places that tie in their cultures, they find ways to progress. And I realize even in France, right? Some of those film enthusiasts in France don't even business about even the American market, because the people in Europe watch films so often that they're not depending on American funding to come. You know what I mean? They're not depending on the success of their film in America. You know what I mean? Like Cannes, the people who love Cannes Film Festival don't necessarily care about Oscars that much. They're just like, oh, what? Green Book won Best Movie, okay. and they're looking on the films that are winning at Cannes, and they're just like, that's a film.
Yeah.
You know, so the culture, we have to kind of work out pushing. And I think, like, for example, when Ward Theatre is fixed, we have to kind of think of having films in Ward Theatre as well. Think of having different cultural things in Ward Theatre, not just how we're going to have another play in Ward Theatre. We have to move forward.
I think there's definitely potential. For example, I know there was a big pantomime culture before.
Yeah.
No, it can be short films.
Simple. Simple.
It can be, because, as I said, like, when I went to France, it was just like a different energy.
Yeah. We soon go France to Chat Bout Flim. How do you say? How is that film in France? Chat Bout Flim.
Google Translate.
Oh my god.
That's it. I don't care what it really is.
Flim.
It's Flim. You know, something over the M.
Yeah, over the I.
The IE.
Flom.
Chat Bout Flim. Flamme. Oh, we're going to get cancelled. France are going to come for it.
Alright, guys.
We're going to fling croissants after we.
I want to end
this segment. People who are on the IG for Chat Bout Flim, please go to youtube.com/c/chatboutflim and continue following the live on YouTube.
Yeah, and then also you can get the podcast later on tonight or tomorrow. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breakup, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public.
Everything.
All the casts. Spotify, as we mentioned earlier, Spotify is now available in Jamaica, no VPN, so you can get on that too. Alright, so you can't stop that one now.
Alright, cool. So we're going straight into our theme, right, Gigi?
Yes, we're going straight into our theme, which is favorite coming of age films. And I just want you to define what coming of age is.
So overall, what we're looking at for coming of age is just simply a film, and I think you're going to sneak a TV show in there, right, in your list. Yeah. But basically, telling the story of a kid or someone, a character who grows into his or her own, you know? So it's kind of like the journey of the life of somebody, you know what I mean? And you want, for coming of age films, you kind of want to see that that person has found themselves in some sort of way. That's usually the idea of comedy. You don't want just the same asshole non-stop, you know, but the idea of,
They've learned lessons.
yeah, you've come of age, you know?
Yeah, usually the obstacles in a coming of age film are also like life lesson obstacles.
Right, that turns them into whoever they're
Yeah.
supposed to be.
So
Let
we can start
start
off
with Saeed's
yours,
first, yeah.
which is Mulan.
I don't remember, what did I say? Mulan.
Mulan. Well, we want kind of surprise the people. She have the list there.
Oh, okay. Oh,
She have the
yeah,
list. Yeah, man.
okay.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah, we
want to
got.
see your list?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
Mulan.
I know.
So this was Mulan animated. Really.
Sure.
Not-
Sure.
not
I haven't
the-
seen the live action. Have you seen the live
I
action?
have seen the live action and it was very underwhelming for me. So
Sorry about that.
Matthew says it's crap. But we're
Yeah.
talking about the animated film, which is top notch.
yeah. So I mean, how do you start?
No, all right. So, why is it one of your favorite coming of age
Okay.
films? Yeah.
Yo,
He's like Mulan. That's it. Okay.
That's all I have to say.
coming of age, I think for me, just growing up, maybe I grew up a Disney kid. Yeah.
I mean, who didn't?
a lot of people.
Psychopaths.
But
I agree.
If you didn't grow up a Disney kid, you're a
There's
psychopath.
some
I
people
agree.
that like push Nickelodeon.
Movies, films.
No,
Eh.
just overall.
No. But he's talking Disney films. You know, like Disney had a stranglehold on it.
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
You know.
So I mean, coming of age films kind of really stood with me, and
Right.
whether I mean, it's not only films, the books,
Mhm.
everything. So even it kind of impacts how I even write my films now.
Nice.
But Mulan, I think Mulan had all the elements that a film should have. I mean,
Right.
as a child, I loved the comedic aspect of it.
Right.
And I love the musical aspect of it as well. But I mean, growing up now, you recognize that it has a lot more underlying themes,
Right.
such as a woman in society.
Right.
in that
Which is like
area.
a sexy theme to,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah. So I was going to use identity, but I was also going to say identity and purpose.
Yeah.
Because one of the big fights that we notice in Mulan is just being told you can't do something.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to a criminal podcast called Criminal, and there was a story recently about this girl in Pakistan who this was 2015. She did like shows and YouTube videos, but she didn't wear all the stuff she wanted to wear. She was very like sexual, and her brother killed her. It's a true story, not a movie or anything. And it taught me that there's still a thing in Pakistan called an honor killing, where if you kill a woman because they disrespected your honor, as long as the family forgave you, the courts wouldn't put you to jail. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the family has to prosecute you basically.
That's
So
crazy.
it's so crazy. And then so this brother killed his sister because the sister was disrespecting the family, and at first it was going to go under the rug, but it was so popular, you know. So then, tie it back to Mulan quickly. In a way, that was really grim. Sorry, but Mulan shows that, you know, a woman's place in society was very defined, and it shows that even though Disney had to do it in their Disney way, this is, you know, there are societies that would kill women for trying to be something else. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think one of my favorite things in most coming of age too is, as I had said before, is the obstacles that you face, that these main characters or protagonists face.
Yeah.
I say in a drama, the obstacles, you might see the conflict very early, in which, you know, say, okay, the obstacles are going to be kind of basic unless it's a really great writer to kind of just throwing a curveball. But these obstacles in the coming of age is also obstacles that determine the character of the actual individual. Meaning, so you have like the A story of Mulan needing to be a warrior,
Right.
but then you have the B stories of
Yeah. I mean all the characters around Mulan.
Exactly. All the characters are around Mulan. The actual training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was deep too.
Yeah, the actual training, the actual how do I relate to these other characters who see women in a particular way?
True.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to segue into my first film, which is a Disney film as well, which was Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently watched the live action. I didn't watch it for a while because for me, certain aesthetics don't work for me as well. And I like the Disney live actions that are mixed. So Jungle Book I thought was fun or whatever. But having all animals, and I think even Disney figured that all animals talking all the time never look so good. So even the songs, the live action didn't have them really singing and jumping all over the place, which I think killed some of the vibe for me. But the story in the animated film in itself, I think it's so timeless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the idea of power, the idea of just even not just a circle of life, but just how you treat others and how it comes back to you. You know, Lion King's soundtrack, everything about that film really, that coming of age for me, what Simba became and how Simba found himself was a masterpiece.
It was a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know if you wanted to add something to that.
No, you pretty much summed it up as I would.
Yeah.
I mean, from the first time I watched Lion King, it has been one of my favorites Disney animated movies of all time. What I would say stood out for me as a youngster watching it is who becomes whose friend and who really have whose back.
That's true.
Because what are the
Timon and
Timon
Pumbaa
and Pumbaa would have been aligned with Simba like that. You get me? So I mean, it put a lot of things in context for me as a youngster. And this was me in prep school.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Disney really did well with it and it was constantly engaging. You never feel cliche or boring or just another cartoon.
Yeah, and even now, it's timeless. It's timeless. It
and
still
it
holds.
holds up. It holds up after all these years. And I don't watch a live action. I don't have no vibes to watch it.
Yeah, you're not missing
I
it.
don't know why it's watching.
But then my thing is, I don't hate on it because there's just a new set of kids who love it. Like it did well.
Yeah, I mean, the live action for Lion King was, I mean, I think they stuck to the storyline for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part. So it never really threw me out like Mulan, that kind of just
tried to switch it up and rewrite it.
They rewrote a lot of it.
You know which live action was better than, was way better than I thought it would be? Aladdin.
Aladdin.
I did. It was way better than I thought it would be.
Don't say it.
I thought it was going to be the worst movie ever. It wasn't. It was very Aladdin-y.
Close to that.
Huh?
It
was close to the worst movie?
But don't worry.
No, I don't think it was as horrible as people make it sound.
I didn't like it.
No, I didn't love it either. But if you didn't hate it, Matty, it's not so bad. Matty, if you didn't hate it, it's actually a little bit better than I'm saying it right now. You hate everything, Matthew. Yeah. But what's
This
second?
next one, Queen's Gambit.
Yeah. So, yo, Queen's Gambit for me was like, it's amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah, so from everything, from the,
Oh snap! Sorry. No, the shadow really looks like. Look
So
up.
you
Look.
still chessboard?
Oh, bro.
But that in itself was such an amazing idea. Whoever came up with that.
Yeah.
So the directing.
I wish the camera could show that right now.
The growth of the character, and of course a series. Them have a little bit more to play with because it's more than 90 minutes.
And it's you can cheat over one. The TV show is fine because at the end of the day, we're talking about that coming of age and how it's portrayed on film. Yeah, right. Because it's a limited series.
Yeah. Well, no, don't they have a season 2?
I hope not.
It ended like that. Like
It ended some.
Supposed to be just that in the
No, people are begging for it, but it wasn't intended. People are begging for it, but it wasn't. And it's Netflix, so they might just do it and pay them double the money.
Yeah.
But it wasn't intended to have a next season.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But how you felt about the development of that character?
I was to say it's very similar to Mulan in terms of the themes that were there.
Yeah.
And because it was a mini series as well, I got to see more into the backstory. The backstory of what's her name, Beth Harmon.
Yeah. She's a fictional character, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I got to see more into her backstory, to kind of understand the struggles that she's had. I mean, being an orphan alone is just
Right.
heavy, you know.
Yeah.
But just
And a drug.
Yeah, no, they hit on being an orphan, addiction,
But
Yeah.
and then power struggles as a
yeah,
woman
I
in
mean, they
society.
even hit on. I mean, what I liked is that they're seem to be very true to the time.
Yeah,
So
they hit on race. The friend who was
the
black.
race is the race. How they looked on drugs
Exactly.
initially
Yeah.
in comparison to later down in the
Right, because
series.
they
Yeah.
were just giving kids tranquilizers.
Exactly.
Yeah. What?
What?
And
That's
you know
crazy.
what I think is really good about it. You see, a lot of TV shows, and I think I felt this way about Dear White People at some point. A lot of TV shows use the theme as a weapon. You know, so it's like, here is the thing, and you know, we're going, but they did the reality of showing that these things are existing. These things are happening. You know, look in the rearview mirror, you see racism. You know,
Yeah.
you fix that mirror and you see. You understand? And it's. I like the idea of how all of that surrounds the character, but it doesn't necessarily have to affect the character. And that's what so like you will find TV shows or a series that will like speak about a white character around a black character, and then it's about how the white character is, oh my god, you know, I can't believe you're going through racism, when because like that black person is going through racism and this white person is going about her life as it really is back then. You know, as
No
it
too.
really happened. No too. So that's a really good choice. It's definitely, even as a limited series, it's definitely a great coming of age story.
Yeah.
And I would definitely put that out there.
Yeah. Production value as well is just.
Oh my
like,
god.
Yeah.
Like it was directed really well on
And you know
wardrobe,
what?
art
The
department.
casting was
The casting was so
Casting
good.
was spot on.
so good.
Yeah,
The casting was so good.
definitely.
And I liked how, and this is between the writers, producers, directors, how at every point in time, I always wanted to champion her cause.
Mhm.
Like there was never a point where I felt like, oh, what is
Yeah.
it?
That you were against her.
Yeah,
you were
like,
not-
Right,
because
yeah.
it's a-
Like, you made a
even
rude
even when
turn
she
or-
made a silly decision.
Right, she did wrong things, but you still with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like I still
That's how I feel
understood.
about Issa.
Oh.
Insecure. Oh, don't start me and her with
I
Issa.
actually stopped watching because I never felt that never. There were
Something
points
never
in
vibe
that.
with you?
Yeah, there are points in that.
She just made some horrible decisions.
Yeah, where I just like.
Again and again and again.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
exactly.
let's not start with
Just me,
insecure.
so.
Let's not start with insecure. but but that was I would even say that even if I wasn't against her decisions, like even if I still thought they gave enough context for me to say I'm in the story, let's make the story play out, and it was still great storytelling. So yeah, that was a good one. I think for my second one, I want to jump to Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay.
That's going to be my second one, because since we spoke about the young girl story, I mean, she turned into an adult, and about all things surrounding it. To Kill a Mockingbird, I chose as my coming to age story. She doesn't grow that much older. I think it's only a few years she gets older. But watch, many people may not remember. I can refresh To Kill a Mockingbird as much as possible. But it's a story of basically a black man is just like Emmett Till. He's being put to jail for abusing a white woman. When it turns out that she tried to have sex with him, he turned her down, and then the father ball rape. The father, not just ball rape, ball abuse, used a white card, and Atticus Finch, white lawyer, had to take care of the case. They lost the case, as expected back then. But then Scout, who is one of the main characters, she is the daughter of the lawyer and goes through this whole, what's wrong with why what happened to them, you know? I have a black maid, why I want to hate black people? And it's just a moment of ignorance and seeing how she realizes what's really happening around her, you know? Like there's, even in the book itself, it speaks about how she went to church, and she went to a black church, and the pastor kept doing like not roll call, call and repeat. And the reason he had to do that because black people can't read, you know. And To Kill a Mockingbird is one of those timeless things where the acting in itself, it's black and white, it's old, it feels a little wooden, fine. But that story, to know that that is still happening with George Floyd, to know that that is still happening with Breonna Taylor? Breonna Taylor, to know that the justice system is failing still. It shows that as a coming of age, you know, we need more white people to watch that. We need more white people to see that the young white kids need to learn that there's something really bad happening, and that might be the only way that we can get over that next hump. You know, we have to stop miseducating whites. You know, the texts have to change, the books have to change, and I think To Kill a Mockingbird, it has one of those kind of white gaze of black problems, but it tells it with a little bit of truth, and I like that journey that Scout made, and that's why for me it's one of my favorite coming of age films. You know, so I don't know if I have any comments on that or if I want
What I
to.
will say is that I feel like the next Gen Z, I don't know, the next generation, I feel like they have a pretty good handle of things. Like, I've seen... You don't think
Hear what I was saying. All right, hold on. I think I know what you're saying. I think the Gen Z that your algorithm makes you encounter
Yes.
has
Yes.
a pretty good handle. But then what I do realize is it goes back to what I was saying about, yes, there is a Gen Z that there's a very woke version of like even college students that's way more woke than when I went to college in 2008 in America. I have to admit that. But there is also a group of like 10 to 18-year-olds
Yeah.
that have those horrible parents
Yeah.
That ain't going to college either.
that ain't going to college.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is there are the avenues that the woke Gen Z is going to allow them to encounter that an entire group of people aren't going to encounter, because they're going straight into their daddy business after they're in the middle of a racist town at them racist high school, and them not going to college. Them just going straight to their dad's Fortune 500 companies, and they're going to just influence more people because the people want to be like them. You understand? And the thing is, the best way is to find a way to infiltrate the high schools to teach them so that people like Scout.
Younger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go
Here
to
what's
Well,
a
yeah.
fact.
basic school,
Here
and
what's a
then
fact.
primary school.
Nothing really changes with money and power over time unless there's a revolution.
Straight.
It's as simple as that.
True.
I think
True.
violence is the only way.
True. Well, I'm not sure we're going to promote the violence on Chat Bout Flim, even though we kind of started by going blah 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 blah. But
I
yeah,
disagree with that still.
yeah, I think there are revolutions outside of physical
Yeah,
revolution.
so that's
No,
a
I
very.
wasn't saying
I mean,
violence,
Said
you
that,
know.
nobody said
Oh.
that.
I'm just saying a revolution.
Well,
in
I-
general.
define revolution, because I mean that's a very Walter Rodney communist way.
As
of
in,
looking.
alright. Here are things change with money and power. When there are extreme changes
Mm.
biased towards the people less fortunate or the people that the system is stacked against.
Mm.
That's when real changes happen with money and power.
Mhm.
Outside of that, the cycle continues.
And
Yeah.
it goes back to the same thing, because when the poor people get the money, it starts up.
Mm.
Every time. Along history, it always go that way. Like, over time, you
The
get
culture
corrupted.
shift.
You get
And who have the
corrupted,
money
yeah.
do the same
Yeah.
thing.
It's the
Mhm.
same thing.
What I would say is that I'm not going to say Gen Z has a good handle, because I
I
don't
think they
know,
have
because
a majority of
maybe
them
my
have a better
algorithm
handle.
sees the same set of
It
people.
ain't no better than ours.
But what I
It's
would
a
say
little
is
better.
there's definitely an improvement in certain things that make a very big impact for change, like representation.
Definitely, yes.
You get me?
And it's what
and that's, I don't know if you define that as revolution. Maybe it is revolutionary.
It's
But-
revolutionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are the subtle things that over time, so representation, if you have more women represented in film or media, if you have
Yeah,
more
black people represented.
if you have more black people telling their own stories, yes, there are more black people telling their own stories.
Right.
Ava DuVernay now has come up with I wouldn't say a company, but it's a movement to
Yeah.
only hire
Blacks.
blacks.
Well,
Or
and
to
what?
hire more blacks. Or I'm gonna give you another example. I did Bigger Boss. This was IT and Fancy Cat. They did
Yeah.
a series last year called Bigger Boss, which is them supposed to be like the Jamie Foxx show,
Right, get you.
Jamaican version. And the director came down and the director said he's never been on a set with only black workers before.
Interesting.
When he's on a set in LA, he's like the only black person on
So it
set.
felt good for him then.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I mean when you hear those things, you're
It's a
like,
good sign.
I don't know.
Whoa,
if-
no, it's a bad sign for LA.
It's a bad sign for LA, but I don't know if a big shootout revolution. Like there are still a
We'll
lot of
change that.
smaller changes that can happen that will still make a big difference. You understand?
Alright. Well, before I move to the next film, the one I would just say that's some really good points, and I think they're just things that we kind of have to look into in terms of just what can be better. What's Saeed's third? Harry Potter.
Alright, so
You're cheating again a little, you know.
yeah, I mean, when Simon asked me,
Coming of age.
that was just like the first thing that kind of came to my mind. I did link him back after and say, yo, what about Hercules? I mean, Harry Potter.
But here, what I would say with Harry Potter, I would still leave Harry Potter based on the fact that it has been one of the most influential
Definitely.
film series coming of age stories, you know, in terms of a film series. So if we're using Queen's Gambit, that's 7 episodes that were an hour. Harry Potter would probably add up to 10 episodes. You know what I mean? Like, so we're still looking at that kind of vibes. Harry Potter is, I didn't read the books and I'm a big reader. Mostly because I was just so satisfied with what the films gave me.
Really?
Just fully. Like, Harry Potter fans have told me all the time, like, you should go for it, go for the books, rare. At some point, maybe I will. But I don't know if what the books going to give me going to make me not like the films as much anymore. But I'm so satisfied with what the films gave me that I don't need anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit different because I did read the books. I was a Harry Potter nerd.
That's fine.
So I did read the books, and like now at this stage I do understand more.
As to why things had to be cut, why you had to take out certain things,
because that screenplay could not have been, it would have been crazy, but I definitely felt the coming of age more in the book.
Oh, okay.
Because I felt the development of Harry more in the book than the film.
Zing.
Yeah, I mean, very similar points in terms of, so his ultimate goal is to beat the villain, which is Voldemort. However, he has to go through these obstacles of just how do you live as a normal boy when you've grown up an orphan,
Yeah.
and how do you find yourself? What's your identity? What is it? How does your family contribute to how you see life now?
Yeah.
And these are all questions that came up that I found very intriguing.
Yeah.
And it's just along the way, I mean, thankfully I grew up with the movies, so a lot of things that I watched at the time I could parallel in my life as a teenager.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're not an adult looking back on the films kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It's the film started when I was finishing high school or going into college, one of the two. So, but I get what you're saying because I'm now seeing Liquor Harry as a adolescent or whatever the title that age. But it's a very interesting coming of age story, and I think it's going to be one of those timeless films. They did very well with the cinematography, the video effects, all of that. You know. But good choice in essence when talking about coming of age stories. The last film, which is my last film of the list I chose, was Moonlight. Now, Moonlight is one of those harsher topics. You know what I mean? One of those harsher things to discuss. And Moonlight's right here. The movement of the film. Sometimes coming of age stories tend to be like, let's tell every little piece that we can, you know? But Moonlight was just like, yo, here's a little fucked up piece. That mash you up? Alright, cool. Here's another one, but he's 5 years old. Now here's him as a damaged adult, you know? And it's 3 different actors, 3 different feelings, 3 different moods. And then there was just this total engulfing of just, who the hell am I? You know, and it's performance after performance, moment after moment, and that mother played such a deep, dark role when she was the drug addicted mom. And it's like, there are so many people that don't understand the impact of a parent that just failed, you know? And for me, that's my favorite coming of age film. So I don't know if you like that film as well.
Yeah, I do. There's the impact of a parent that failed, and also the impact of not having another father or mother figure in your life. And I draw back to Queen's Gambit, who she got a father figure
from the old guy.
Chess.
Yeah.
That kind of just, that, I mean, it might not have repaired her emotions or he repaired that side of her character. But
And
he
Mahershala
definitely-
Ali, you know, did that same kind of
Yeah,
vibe in
exactly.
Moonlight, where he was just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And then the kid just not knowing what I'm here even means. You know, what does I'm here even say to me? I don't know. It's a movie that I haven't watched again in a while, but I want to be ready to watch it again.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Definitely
watch it,
understand that.
maybe watch it with someone who's never seen it, and just to kind of like see how people react to it, because it really, I wasn't ready for that movie, and it really,
Moonlight was heavy.
it was so heavy.
It is
It was
Yeah.
so heavy, and even how they ended it,
Yeah,
I was just like,
Jaja,
you reached so far and you still lost.
lost. But yeah,
Like, it rough, man.
but
Yeah.
that's it for our theme for the day, though.
Did you
Oh.
read Black Girl in the Ring?
No,
No, you haven't.
no, the script.
Yeah.
You didn't send me that one. You sent
I
me the
didn't?
Edinburgh. You didn't send me
Okay,
Black Girl.
okay, so-
I'll read it as you send it to me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
this
just
is.
want to
Yeah.
ask
Hmm?
anybody else any mention of honor?
Honorable mentions.
Honorable
Honorable
mentions.
mentions.
Thank you so much.
Coming of age. I think Boyhood and Stand By Me would be my two honorable mentions.
Boyhood would be mine.
Stand By Me is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Can't think of any right now.
From my hair coming of age, the first movie that came to mind for me was actually Baleno.
Baleno?
Malelo.
Mali, I don't know it.
With Monica Bellucci. It's not a
Interesting.
American film. It's a little boy that basically, she's like the hottest adult, female adult in
Yeah.
the town, and he's a little boy that kind of get obsessed with her and
Mhm.
like he's always having fantasies about her and whatever, and him stalking her kind of. And eventually, I mean, you have to watch the movie, but then have a little encounter and kind of.
Mm.
You relate to that?
I mean, I guess.
Ha!
But when I was, but Monica Bellucci to me was like the hottest thing when I was young.
Mm.
So
Okay.
that could have been.
So I get
But
it.
for my hair coming of age, honestly, always that's the first thing I think of.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then anybody have any questions for us?
There's another one. I can't remember the name of it, but it's.
No worries.
Jesus, Gigi.
Moreland's Camp, and there
Big up
was,
Moreland's Camp. Mad.
movie that Saeed was talking about.
Okay, cool.
Alright, cool.
Timon and Pumbaa are the real OGs.
Sure.
There's this. It was a World War II film with the girl. Was it a girl? Yes. The protagonist that. I think she learned more about World War II from in a library or something like that.
I'm not sure which film that is.
Can't remember. I remember watching it a long time ago and it stood with me. I don't know.
Another honorable mention, actually.
Throw it out there.
Cat Runner.
Kite Runner. Oh my god.
Cat Runner.
Hui. But yes.
That's a good film.
Yeah, and that's why like I haven't seen Moonlight. Certain movies I have to prepare myself because I knew kind of know what it's about.
Yeah.
I have it to watch. I just have not
You have
been.
to psych
But
yourself.
at least now you can psych yourself up. I was just like, oh, Mahershala Ali, watch.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jaja. But yeah. But
Alright.
I think this is a good place to close the show, and
Yeah.
Gigi will take it away. Sorry.
Before we close, we have a question that we asked all of our guests, which is if you are a superhero, what would be your power?
Maybe to read people's minds.
Word.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Mine is always invisibility and yours is healing.
Mine is just healing.
Healing.
Like kind of
Healing
Wolverine
is
is
a great
healing,
power, Yeah.
and then healing other people too.
Yeah.
Green Mile style.
Yeah.
Another heavy movie.
Okay.
So good. So good. But
I know
but
we're
yeah.
gonna close.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we're gonna close.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so YouTube, follow us. No, you subscribe to us, you comment and you share. Instagram, follow us, comment and share. Follow our podcast on Anchor, and we're on all
All the major ones, but the real top
all
player is
Spotify, Apple, and
Google Podcasts.
And yeah, that's it. Bye.
All right, and that is it. Big up, Saeed.
You have
Mad.
anything you want to bring up?
Oh, snap.
We still live?
Yeah. Yeah, why you say bye? Why you say bye?
Oh,
That's my fault.
Just all right. So big up, just big up Sugar Cake, Joshua Paul,
yeah,
Jafta,
alright.
Kinto,
So big up. So
M1.
coming out with Sugar Cake soon. We're also going into production for a film I wrote, Black Girl in the Ring, soon. That's also a coming of age. It's supposed to be the coming of age of Nanny.
Mad.
Oh, nice.
Mhm. And yeah, and big up my company M1 if you need any form of streaming or live streaming services or any execution for concepts. Feel free to reach out to us, m1ja.com, or you can always follow me at Saeed Ojo as well.
Right.
Okay.
And right before we close off, Raphael has a gift for you. Right? From our sponsors, Studio 47 is this Chat Bout Flim keyring. That's actually yours.
I couldn't just get Raphael.
No. Raphael is a staple for the show. This is Raphael Ends. Raphael Archer, Assassin's Creed, Batman, everybody there.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is dope, respect, bro.
Yeah, man. So big up every time. Tune in. We out.
Okay, bye. I mean it this time.
Yeah, we mean. That's why we were still on the live. Going to do a little photo.